There's not one thing good that has come out of Gaza in 76 years. There's not one piece of science, one piece of art. There's nothing as good to come out of this place in 76 years.
There are two types of Jews ever since October 7th. There are the Jews that are apologetic, that are saying, oh, I see both sides. I empathize with Palestinians. I feel bad. I feel terrible. And, Israel needs to stop bombing. But also Hamas is evil. And then there are Jews that, like Michael Rapaport, are very unapologetic about the fact that they stand with Israel completely. But there's no comparison between Hamas and Israel, and that Israel is trying to fight a just war against evil, barbaric terrorists. And I want you to check out this clip between DJ Vlad and Michael Rapaport, showcasing two different points of view from two Jews. Obviously, Michael Rapaport has shown that he doesn't really care about what the world thinks, and is very open about the fact that Israel is fighting a just war against barbaric and evil people in Hamas. And so Michael Rapaport gave DJ Vlad, who is also Jewish, a little bit of an education about the fact that Israel are the good guys, Hamas are the bad guys, and there is no gray area in between. Check it out.
There's a lot going on right now, but you've always been very outspoken about the whole Israel-Hamas conflict. You and I are both Jewish,
Yep.
And I have publicly said this before on the Breakfast Club as well as social media, that I kind of feel that both sides are at fault for different types of things when it comes to this conflict. Obviously, the whole Hamas attack was horrific and all the kidnappings and everything else like that. But I also don't agree with, in terms of how Gaza was cut off for such a long time, and I also don't agree with the way that the retaliation happened with Netanyahu, where a lot of children and kids and non-combatants were killed in the process. So I see faults on both sides. How do you feel about the whole thing?
I mean, it's a hard answer to give, but I mean, I'll start with, war is vicious, war is brutal, and Israel has done every single thing within its power to try to avoid civilian casualties, and the records prove that the civilian casualties are lower than ever. It's inevitable that civilians are going to get hurt. I mean, as of we're recording this podcast, the Ministry of Health, the Gaza Ministry of Health, hasn't acknowledged that one Hamas terrorist has been killed. They say 40,000 people have been killed. It's a genocide. But within that 40,000, they don't acknowledge that Hamas has been unlived, have been killed. I mean, it's such a complicated, long history. But the reality of it is that there is no two-state solution. It's impossible.
Why is that?
Because when people say globalize the intifada from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, that's not...
That means wiping out Israel.
That means wiping out Israel.
And the Jews, yeah.
Wiping out Israel and wiping out the Jews. And the idea of a two-state solution, you can't... It takes two to tango. It takes two-state solution tango. And the regime of Iran, the Hezbollah, Houthis, Hamas, the lunatics on the college campuses, when they say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, that means Israel won't exist. They've tried and tried and tried. Israel's not perfect. The United States isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. My mother, my father, my kids, New York City is far from perfect. Manhattan, Brooklyn, wherever you love, Paris, wherever you're from, nowhere is perfect. Israel's, for some reason, held to these standards that it must be perfect about every single thing. There is no two-state solution. There's no two-state solution after what happened October 7th. There's been deal after deal after deal after deal after deal to try to give the Palestinians a state, and every single deal has been rejected. Every single deal has been turned into a ceasefire. Every single deal has, every time there's a ceasefire, it's been broken. There's no two-state solution.
Yeah, I mean, Hamas refuses to talk directly to Israel because they don't see them as an actual country. They see them as occupiers.
Right.
So any communication between Hamas and Israel has to happen through the Palestinian government, essentially.
Which is who? The Palestinian government is the Palestinian Authority or the Qatar.
Right.
Listen, Hamas is a bunch of caveman animals. They're animals. Their mentality is caveman animal shit. And they proved that their mentality is caveman shit since the day they were in, since the day they were voted in. You want to talk about rigged election? I would love to see that the numbers really counted on that. But there's no getting along. They don't want to get along. They've said they don't want to get along. They've said after October 7th they want many, 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 many more October 7ths. And the head of it all, Iran, they celebrate it. They want many, many, many October 7th. They want the elimination of Israel. They want the elimination of Jews. There's no discussion when you're dealing with that. And we think it's like, oh, it's just like some far out shit, or why are they so mad? Fuck why they're so mad. That's where I'm at now after a year and some change. Fuck why you're so mad. You know, when they talk about why they're so mad, they're talking about, oh, well, in 1948, this, that, and the third happened. There's nothing good. And anyone could try to, in the comments, there's not one thing good that has come out of Gaza in 76 years. There's not one piece of science, one piece of art. There's nothing as good to come out of this place in 76 years. Their whole point of view, their whole agenda has been to destroy Israel and reclaim what they think is their land. And who wants to bore everybody with the thousands and thousands of year history of it all? But 10 hours after the state of Israel was announced, a war started.
Right.
Israel hasn't been able to breathe since the day it was conceived. So, I mean, it's just, obviously, like I said, Israel's not perfect. They have never been perfect. United States isn't perfect. There's no place or person, business, nothing is perfect. There's certainly no state that is perfect. So, certainly no country that is perfect.
Well, look, I've been to Israel multiple times. I've also been to Palestine, where I had dinner with the family and we spoke about issues and so forth. I will tell you this, 99% of the people who are protesting, who are anti-Israel on these campuses and so forth, 99% of them have never actually been to Israel. They think it's
Right.
a whole bunch of desert and empty land that someone could just move in and take over. Israel's a full-blown first world country. It's really pretty much America. You know, same type of roads, same type of infrastructure, high rises and so forth. Israel isn't going anywhere. I know you want to say from the river to the sea. That's not a realistic, statement. Israel is always going to be around for the foreseeable future. There's too much infrastructure. There's billions of dollars. People live there. You're not just going to wipe it out and take it over like, let's say, Afghanistan was taken over by the Taliban. That's not going to happen. Okay? So no matter how you want to look at it, you have to take a step back and realize that Israel's here to stay, and you're going to have to work your way out around that reality, as opposed to saying these people should be eliminated. This is our land. We should get it all back. Nobody is going to give anything back. It is what it is. It is what it is. But like I said, I am not happy with, and I looked it up, 41,000 Palestinian deaths to 1,700 Israeli deaths. That is a very uneven number. And I believe that something like 60 or 70% of the Palestinian deaths are non-combatants. They're not men of fighting age. There's kids, women, and so forth. And I understand that the Hamas hide behind the civilians and hide in the hospitals and hide in the schools, but ultimately you have to work around that. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not an easy way to deal with things, but you have to work around that because you don't want to set up a situation which is happening now.
But when you say this number of 41,000 Gazans killed,
yes,
there's no proof of purchase. There's no verification. And like I said, when they say 41,000 Gazans killed, if that's the number they're saying today,
yeah,
within that 41,000, if you're not giving Hamas, terrorists, participants, and even if you're not official Hamas, the scumbags that were meandering, raping, pillaging, stealing, robbing, burning on October 7th, if you're like, you're not part of a gang, but you're gang affiliated, those people that were meandering through the kibbutz on October 7th, of that 41,000 that you're looking up right now, of that 41,000 that people are looking up, how many of them are terrorists? And who's giving these numbers? The terrorists are giving these numbers.
I understand.
I have a big problem with people like DJ Vlad who try to create a gray area and say, "Oh, let's just look at both sides," and they're, both sides have problems. No, no, you're either on the side of good or on the side of bad. And when you try to toe the line, you allow openings for people to take your words out of context and look at, oh, look what a Jew said. Look what a Jew said. He said that Israel is going too far and Israelis are doing terrible things to Palestinians and all these other things. And you end up in a situation where you are more beneficial to the pro-Hamas narrative than the average pro-Hamasnik, than the average pro-Palestinian, because they can take you and say, look, here's a Jew saying that he hates Israel. Look at a guy like Bernie Sanders. Look at a guy like Norman Finkelstein, people that are Jewish that are completely anti-Israel and completely pro-Hamas are doing so much to just destroy the Jewish people and Israel. For more, subscribe to the channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Jewish Uncensored. Thank you for watching and have a good one.